Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you another DPP SPL match. This is a showdown between Ladybug of the Cryonicles and BKC of the Dragonspiral Tyrants. BKC coming into this matchup having his undefeated bid snapped by Void last week, as he got rather unlucky against the Dragonite last week, but BKC looking to get himself back on track. Ladybug is also coming off of a loss against SFG, and that being said though, let's see who's going to get themselves back in the win column, and let's just jump right into this. Gallade lead, Heatran lead. Gallade lead, bit of an unusual lead to be honest, and BKC's Heatran lead is forced out. A couple things here to note about Gallade lead. So usually when Gallade is used as a lead, it's normally running one berry. It's always got CC. Gallade has like a plethora of moves that it can take advantage of, or at least could in theory use, but it always wishes it could use more of those moves. But some common moves that lead Gallade most to use is something like Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Shadow Sneak, even something like Leaf Blade or Ice Punch are stuff that can be an option too, but primarily close combats never drop, and then it's some combination of those other moves that I mentioned. And as for BKC, the Heatran could be like a Focus Sash lead, could be Specs, could be a plethora of things really, but let's just keep going. Zapdos brought out, and we have some Zapdos on Zapdos action, and BKC's Zapdos shown discharge, doing 30% of Ladybug's Zapdos, and Blissey is brought out here. This is like the second time this SPO we've seen Blissey in action, and Blissey not completely outclassed by Clefable, it's just always been the hazard issue. And here Metagross sets rocks up, and that looks like a bold Starmie from the looks of it, like EQ only doing 40% to that Starmie, which feels like a pretty low number to be honest. And not sure, okay, Ladybug's Starmie turns out to be Choice Specs. Yep, Heatran was also Choice Specs like I thought it might be, and overheats, and that Flygon takes a ton of damage. And U-turn telling us that this is probably a Choice Scarf Flygon on Ladybug's end. And Gallade is also Choice Scarf. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So it was Trick, CC, Wisp, and then probably like some random coverage move of their choice. And the Starmie gets Wisped here. Has to switch out. Metagross is brought back into the fold against this Zapdos that's now Choice Lock. And Starmie is brought out, and Ladybug making a very nice double into the Starmie with the Zap. This is now a free turn, essentially. And we have a bit of a stalemate here right now because Ladybug can't really touch the Starmie without exploding his Metagross. And then Metagross here, like, yeah, I can set rocks up, but Starmie is always going to be able to get the spin off, especially considering Ladybug's team looks like it doesn't have a spin blocker of any kind, and that's not really unheard of, and gets a critical hit on that Starmie just to force it to burn a couple more recovers. However, yeah, this sequence, yeah, we're going to be here for a little bit, and Ladybug finally switches it up and gets the mash raise that Ladybug was hoping to get with that Metagross. So now it can actually pressure the Starmie a little bit more and ideally have an easier time getting rocks up, and now it does over 53%. Forcing recovery here. Another 53% again. And finally BKC looking for that full arrow finally gets it. However, Ladybug just opts to rock up again. And Meteor mashes again, knowing that the Zapdos is Choice Lock, and Ladybug just probably hoping to get our mash raise, but that's not gonna happen. And this Zapdos will finally go down. Breloom is brought out. So we got a Zap Me Loom Tran, but with a bit of a twist here as we see a Blissey on Kevin's side. And Starmie has to switch out, fearing a potential Seed Bomb. But the Metagross is on the verge of dying, and BKC just opts to mid-ground with Seed Bomb, just trying to get any damage that can be gotten. And the Zapdos looking like maybe especially defensive, as Heat Wave is often ran on these SPDF sets, and BKC is able to get the T-Wave with the Blissey onto Ladybug's Zapdos, which is going to be real nice. And Ladybug just kind of fishing for status and has to switch out now. Gallade takes 37 and is just barely out of KO range, however, has to switch out again. If the Gallade's switching out, this tells me that the Gallade probably doesn't have any moves that can actually do anything meaningful. And Starmie tricks the Choice Specs onto Breloom, which is not a bad outcome, to be honest. However, this Metagross that's coming in as parent is going to be Seismic Tossed, and is just barely hanging on to dear life. And Ladybug just brings the Zapdos in, trying to like make the Blissey burn any extra Seismic Toss PP, but Kevin again firmly in the driver's seat this game. As again, it seems like Ladybug's team can't actually touch Starmie Zapdos core very well. Oh, and the Starmie does 52%. But yeah, the issue here is that Ladybug's team just isn't well equipped to handle like most normal metagame threats, like the Starmie Fat teams that we see pop up. Like, how are you breaking through this outside of, say, exploding with the Metagross on the Starmie? And Ladybug, yeah, this game looks pretty doomed for Ladybug right now, so I think BKC's Starmie is probably running like 330 speed or something like that. Oh, it's Psybeat, okay. Yeah, that's not a bad set. I actually like that on defensive Starmie, because the idea is that when you run Psychic, you can actually beat Gengar, and so that you can actually spin on it, and you also beat something like Breloom, which normally threatens it. And BKC's Metagross here, showing potentially Scarf, perhaps. And Ladybug in a last heave of desperation, trying to outrage the Blissey, but Blissey is so fat that the outrage is never going to do enough considering it's Scarf, so loses a lot of power. And Ladybug now, the last is Dragon Dance Tyranitar, and assuming this is Scarf Metagross, needs a miss. Ladybug does not get that. And once again, needs... And yeah, just switches out, doesn't want to risk the miss, and close combat drop should make the Metagross be able to drop this Gallade easily. And BKC walks away with a commanding victory over Ladybug, moves on to 4-1 on the season. I think Ladybug is now 2-3 on the season. And for almost a game, BKC just looked like he was in the driver's seat, controlled the pace of the game for the most part. And I think the other thing to take away was that Ladybug's team just didn't have a very effective way to reliably break through those Starmie Zapdos cores effectively. Like, yeah, you have stuff on its own that might be a threat, such as Zapdos, but like, you run into the Blissey, which kind of just stifles Ladybug's own Zapdos. Sure, you have the Tyranitar, but the issue is that BKC also had a Breloom and a Scarf Metagross sitting in the back, so stuff like that in Gallade was just, it just looked really underwhelming, to be honest. there's a reason why it has been mostly phased out of the DPP Elite metagame. This is why. That being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.